of maybe living in Center City. So they eventually did find a place in Center City that a friend of theirs basically gave them. So they're living. That's where they're living. At least that's where they were living last year. So,
Sean, am I not supposed to get his volume in my headset yet? Because we're not live.
Well, we're going. Here's the live. Here's the open. No, you are. You're able to hear everything for him right now. You should hear him, right? Can you hear him talk?
Test 1 2 1 2 1 2.
I don't hear him yet.
Summer Sundays are meant for freshly cut grass, ballpark dogs, and the best baseball talk you can find. So kick back with your bacon and eggs and pour yourself a mimosa while Phillies announcer Greg Murphy and Green Legion Radio's Chris Sack break down your fighting Phils and take you around the league right now on Baseball Brunch. Play ball!
And good morning, Philadelphia, and welcome back for another episode of Bud Light Baseball Brunch, powered by Green Legion Radio on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler in Philadelphia, 104.1 in the Trenton area, and WDAS AM around the rest of the Delaware Valley, or just simply download that iHeartRadio app and you can listen to us anywhere worldwide, crystal clear. Broadcasting to you live today from the Fox Sports The Gambler studios in Bala Cynwyd ahead of Phillies Red Sox at 1:10 p.m. here. I'm in studio with Sean Brace. Murph actually has the luxury and the satisfaction of doing the broadcast away from me today. He's in the ballpark over at Citizens Bank Park. Again, I'm Chris Sack with Green Legion Radio. Murph, what's happening, buddy? It's a beautiful day out there.
It is a beautiful day out here. I've got a view of Citizens Bank Park, an empty field as the rest of the guys are up there in Boston getting ready to play a baseball game. But that is how we do broadcasting in 2021 right now. Hopefully after the All-Star break, that changes. But, yeah, right now we're going to call the game from here at Citizens Bank Park. But first, we've got some business to take care of after a week off, a little holiday for us from Bud Light Brunch. But we're back and ready to go.
All right. Sounds great, man. Great seeing you again, as always. And just in case you guys didn't know, as you guys always should know, our first segment is brought to you by our good friends at MCS Residential and MCS Custom Cabinetry. MCS Residential and Custom Cabinetry for all your residential contracting needs. This is who you want to talk to. Everything from additions, renovations, kitchens, baths, closet organization, cabinetry, vanities, basements, everything you need. Mention the Green Legion and get 10% off your order, regardless of how much. I know I did with them doing work at my house coming up here. Reach out to them at www.mcsinc-pa.com or call them at 484-202-3656. That is www.mcsinc-pa.com or call them at 484-202-3656. Real quick, before we dive into our conversations for today, and we do a ticket giveaway, as we always do on the program, next Sunday is our next Bud Light Baseball Brunch tailgate at Xfinity Live at 1100 Social ahead of Phillies Marlins. Make sure you guys go to greenlegion.com, purchase your tickets today. $60, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. right ahead of first pitch. All you can eat, all you can drink. Make sure you guys get your tickets. Come on down, catch me and Murph down there as well. You can get pictures with Murph, autographs with Murph, hang out with Murph, as long as we're not doing our broadcast from 11 to noon, but we'll be there ahead of that. And he's got to get rolling afternoon to go over and do the pregame show. So come on down and hang out with us. And while you're at greenlegion.com, make sure you guys sign up for a trip. Got plenty of awesome trips coming up this year. Atlanta, Vegas, Dallas, you name it, go there. Denver, go to the website and make sure you guys sign up and do a trip with the Green Legion as well. Nobody does it better than we do, so make sure you guys join us for that. Murph, do you have the run sheet up ahead of you today? Are you going to be able to do the trivia question?
Are we ready to give away some tickets?
I always am ready to give away some tickets. Go ahead, Murph. Take it away.
All right. We are giving away 2 tickets for the Monday, July 26th game against the Washington Nationals at 7:05. It is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night, so not only are you going to get free tickets, but you're barely going to have to spend any money at the game to eat and probably get a beer or two. But other than that,
that's where they get you,
Dog Night.
That's where they get you.
Well, yeah, that's where they get you. But all right, so here's how you win these tickets. 2 tickets for July 26th. In order to win, you must answer in the comments section on the Green Legion Radio YouTube channel, the Green Legion Facebook page, or at our Twitter handle at Green Legion. And here's the question. Brad Miller hit 3 home runs in a single game this past Thursday night against the Chicago Cubs. This is a layup. A layup.
I know.
Who's the last Phillies player to hit 3 home runs in a game? Ooh. I know. Last Phillies player to hit 3 home runs in a game. First person to have that answer gets the 2 tickets for July 26th versus the Nationals at 7:05 here at Citizens Bank Park.
You know, Murph, I noticed that you didn't read the bamboo portion of my trivia question. It was supposed to be bamboo, Brad Miller. You did not put the bamboo in there.
Well, bamboo was very much that was 2019, right? So
yeah, but I still like calling him Bamboo Brad Miller. Whenever he hits, he hits a home run, I go bamboo.
All right, well, that's fair enough. Well, Bamboo Brad Miller it is then. All right.
Sounds great. And I kept it easy for you guys because I just got back yesterday from a mini vacation with my family. So I wanted to try and give you guys that layup so you guys can get some free tickets this week, nice. Courtesy of Bud Light Baseball Brunch. So, I think I just saw someone answer it right now. So we'll announce the answer and the winner of the tickets. We'll announce that coming up at the beginning of our second segment. Speaking of which, here we go. We're going out of the box, Murph. And since the last time me and you got together, it's been 2 weeks now. The Phillies are looking solid over the last couple weeks, 8-5 since we last did a show together. A win today. Now, I had built in here. Now, it's funny because I had built in for Aaron Nola to be the starter today into my run sheet. Unfortunately, we got the news right before we went on air, courtesy of Matt Gelb, that Aaron Nola, Alec Boehm, Bailey Falter, and Connor Brogdon all were pulled from the roster today and put on the COVID protocol list. Murph, this breaking news right here, I know Brace was the one that gave it to us right ahead of us going on air. Was there anything that you heard coming into this about we were expecting this? I know Boehm got pulled early from the game yesterday. Maybe that was for a defensive switch later in the game. What's your read on this?
Well, it was interesting because when that happened yesterday, we were on the air. Obviously, he got pulled in the middle of the game. He had homered earlier in the game, had Alec Boehm. And when we heard the reason after we didn't know why. We were speculating as to maybe perhaps he got injured on the double play that he turned in the 6th or 7th inning when Neris was in there. But Joe Girardi, after the game, saying that it was for COVID protocol reasons, and there wasn't much more information at the time they could give. But my initial reaction to that was that is not good news because obviously they do the contact tracing, and anybody that is not vaccinated, not fully vaccinated, and may have had some contact with someone that tests positive for COVID, I believe automatically goes into the COVID protocols at that point. And so, that's a lot of guys on the Phillies, unfortunately, that haven't been fully vaccinated yet. So we wake up this morning, we find out that, starting pitcher Aaron Nola is not able to go today because of COVID protocols, which is a real shame for a lot of different reasons. First of all, you want Nola out there to finish up the first half of the season strong. You have a chance to go to 500 today. The offense has been swinging the bats well. Maybe they end up on a high note. Now, I'm not saying that they can't win without Aaron Nola today, but it certainly is a little bit of a blow. So I'm sure they're scrambling right now to try and figure out, who they're going to give the baseball to. What we do know is that Damon Jones, Mauricio Llovera, Nick Maton, and Christopher Sanchez have all been recalled from AAA to fill the 4 spots because, as you mentioned Boehm, Brogdon, Falter, and Nola all unavailable today. Bailey Falter and Connor Brogdon probably were going to be unavailable anyway, so that's not too big of a news story. Alec Boehm, you can certainly work around it with some of the other guys on the roster, but Nola not being able to go today, it's big news. So hopefully the Phils can rally behind whoever is going to be starting, and I would imagine we're going to find that out in the middle of this show who will be the starting pitcher. So we'll certainly bring that to you at that point.
Yeah, put Kevin Franz in the work over there for us.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you may. But going back to the point here, Murph, the Phillies, since we last got together here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch, we were a little bit, we were coming in here, we had some home games against the Marlins, and then we had the Padres in town, and we knew it was coming. And then at the time, the Cubs had not completely fallen apart, so you knew it was going to be a tough road trip going through Wrigley, and then going into Boston ahead of the All-Star break. But the Phillies have played extremely well, in particular over the last week. We have an opportunity today to go through Chicago and Boston on a 6-1 road trip. Now you lose today, 5-2 is still, if you look at the Phillies road record, which is not good at all, but if you can go through Chicago and Fenway and you can come out of that trip at least 5-2, but 6-1, I take that as a win, especially for the first half of the season, Murph. If they win today, 44-44, with the injuries, the inconsistencies, the horrible bullpen, the first half, if you go 500 and you're still in this race for this division, I look at it as a win for this team. And if you look ahead, second half of the season, the Phillies have the second easiest schedule in all of Major League Baseball. It's setting up quite nicely for them coming out of the gates next week after they have a nice 4-day reprieve.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Look, it's what we've been saying pretty much all season. When you're watching a 500 baseball team, which is exactly what the Phillies are at the moment, they are one game under 500 baseball team right now. You hope they'll be 500 at the All-Star break. You feel as though you can never get your footing. You feel like you're taking 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and that's pretty much has been the first half of this season. However, as we've pointed out a couple of times, this particular team in this particular division in this particular year, all bets are off. Honestly, nobody in this division is running away with it. Everybody has their fair share of problems. You just see the news out of Atlanta yesterday that Ronald Acuna Jr. is done for the season. That is terrible news for the Braves.
And
terrible
for
news
all
for baseball.
Yeah.
It really is. It's such a shame because he's such a young, dynamic player. Now, sure, he plays on a division rival, and you hate to watch him beat the Phils, but in terms of the greater game and for baseball, not good news. But look, the Mets have had their fair share of injuries to deal with, and also their fair share of lineup issues. Their offense is starting to click a little bit. But, here you sit, 4.5 games out, I think, at this point, and everything is on the table. And to your point, the schedule does get a little easier. So, this particular road trip has been really good. If you win today, if my math is right, so they would be 5-2 if they win today on the road trip.
They'll
4-3 if they lose, right? Still 5-2.
5-2
on this road trip. If you would sign me up, right? Last week, if you said, "Hey, they'll go 5-2 versus the Cubs and the Red Sox," I think anybody would have signed up for that. So a win today really gives you a lot of good, positive feelings going into the second half of the season. Everybody wants this All-Star break. It's good for baseball. It's good for the teams to kind of rejuvenate a little bit. But man, oh man, the way the bats are swinging right now, you almost don't want to go take a break because you don't want to lose that good feeling that you got going right now.
And speaking of the bats, Murph, I'm looking at this team and how things have come together over the last couple of weeks offensively for them as they've gotten healthier. This team is 14th in runs scored in all Major League Baseball, 19th in runs against. But the offense is what these last couple of weeks is finally starting to do what we expected them to do coming into the season. I mean, last year, 60 games shortened season. But the offense, there was only 4 teams in Major League Baseball last year that scored more runs than the Phillies did. But if you look at this lineup as a whole and how things are starting to come together, Bryce has gotten going again. Rhys Hoskins is hot. But we always know he can go into that 0 for 20, 0 for 25 real quick. Gene Segura now is cementing himself in that leadoff role. They removed Odubel Herrera from that, and then he wound up on the IL yesterday. Andrew McCutchen has carried that hot June over into July. His batting average doesn't say it, Murph, but I mean, the guy has been producing home runs, RBI. Mm-hmm. Alec Bohm finally had a home run off of a Major League pitcher for the first time since May 6th yesterday. And as we said, he's on the COVID list. Hopefully we'll have him back next weekend. JT's been steady. Hasn't gotten hot yet. Didi Gregorius is back. Offensively, Murph, I look at this team, and I don't look to make a single change offensively to this team. We're going to get into the other portions of this team and what we're looking to add here coming up because, in a few weeks, the trade deadline is coming up. But offensively, I think this team is firmly entrenched in itself moving forward. As long as these guys stay healthy, they're going to be productive. And this offense the sky's the limit. It's only going to get better than 14th in runs scored as long as they continue to swing the bats. And as Charlie Manuel would say, man, it's hitting season.
Right. Yeah, and we're seeing that. And I think everything you just said is spot on, Sack, because this is the way we thought this team was going to win games. And over the past week and a half, that is how they're winning games. I mean, even, I talked to Joe Girardi yesterday for the pregame show, and we were talking about the loss on Friday night. And I said, look, you scored 5 runs and you banged out 9 hits. Now, it's not a huge offensive day, but 5 runs, 9 hits, most nights in Major League Baseball, it's going to give you a chance to win. Now, they went up against a Red Sox team that, put up 11 runs that night, so they lose going away. But it's to say that even the games that they're losing right now, they're still producing offensively. So if you get a pitching performance like you did from Matt Moore yesterday, he was solid. He wasn't outstanding, but he was just good enough. He kept them in the game. Then the bullpen came in, did a really nice job. Bailey Falter, Hector Neris, all the guys that followed behind did a really nice job. So you're going to win a lot of games when you're putting 4 runs, 5 runs, 6 runs on the board. If the Phillies can consistently do that, if we're looking 3, 4, 5 times a week where they're putting that kind of offense together and scoring like that, they're going to win more games than they lose in the second half of the season. And if they do that, they're going to be in the mix in September. And that's really all you can ask for at this point.
Now, if we're looking at the starting rotation, now perfect segue over to that since you were talking about Matt Moore yesterday. Zach Wheeler has been a stalwart at the top of the rotation, which is funny because the one game that you lose in Chicago is the game that he starts, unfortunately. But he's been unbelievable out there for us this season. He's established himself as an ace, an all-star of the staff. If Aaron Nola and Zach Eflin can right themselves, I mean, if you look at their records, and I know, wins and losses is a, it's kind of like a misnomer these days now with starting pitchers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if they can right themselves just a little bit and get those ERAs back under 4 and really truly form that 3-headed monster that we thought we were having coming into the season, I look at coming out of the break too, Murph. They got to split up Vince Velasquez and Matt Moore. Having them go back to back, you're torching your bullpen, and it's not setting anybody up for success. But before you dive into the rotation, Murph, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the rotation as well. Cole Hamels is set to have a showcase on July 16th. It's not going to cost you anything but money. And, I know people keep on saying, oh, well, let's go get Jose Barrios and, this, that, and the other type guy out there that's available on the trade market coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But Cole Hamels is only going to cost you a check. You're not going to have to go out and trade any of the prospects that you have in your, in your system. We know that we lack there as it is. What's your thoughts on bringing back Cole into the fold?
Well, honestly, the idea of bringing Cole Hamels back is fun for so many reasons. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to think about. Obviously, Cole enjoyed many successful years here in Philadelphia. Won a World Series, MVP in that World Series. Terrific player in his prime. I would have to see Cole Hamels throw. I mean, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to have a showcase. There's going to be scouts there. There's going to be, representatives from a lot of teams that are going to go out and watch Cole pitch, because when last we saw Cole Hamels, he was not an effective major league pitcher. And look, Father Time gets to everybody. And Cole had dealt with some injuries late, and he was with the Atlanta Braves at that time, and it just wasn't there for Cole. So before I spent that money, because you're right, it would only cost you money, but if that money's better spent somewhere else, then I'd like to keep that in my pocket and spend it somewhere else. I certainly would go look and watch Cole Hamels and look and with my own eyeballs and see if I thought he still had stuff that could get major league hitters out. And if he did, yeah, I would absolutely kick those tires. It would, in addition to being a great story in Philadelphia, if he can help this team win, well, that's what you want, would he be better in the back end of the rotation than Vince Velasquez, than Matt Moore? I don't know. I don't think any of us know at the moment whether he would or not. So it's difficult to say that, they should bring him back. You have to see it first. You have to be pretty sure that he's better than what you've got. I do think they're going to, try and figure out a solution for the back end of that rotation, whether it's Cole Hamels or not. I just don't know the answer to that yet.
No, I understand that as well. I think where we need to start looking, though, Murph, is I like Ranger Suarez. I think he's been probably one of the best arms that have come out of your bullpen this year. And I like the fact that he's taken over that closer role, which, it seems like everybody that you put into that role has found some way to kind of blow it. Hector Neris and then Alvarado. We have a steady hand back there now in Suarez, but we don't know, when you get into crunch time later on in the season, can he handle that pressure? Because it's only going to get ramped up and ratcheted up more and more as the season goes on. Now, if you're Dave Dombrowski, a lot of people are sitting here and they're going, man, Craig Kimbrell. Oh, man, the Cubs are falling apart. The wheels are falling off. But is it going to cost you a Bryson Stott?
Right.
Those are things that I'm looking at. If I'm Dave Dombrowski, I would love to have Craig Kimbrell out of the back end of my bullpen. I think anybody would. But I think if you're Dave Dombrowski, we have to be realistic here. And maybe, are we looking to just fill a void in this bullpen? Or are we actually looking for an experienced closer? So that way Joe Girardi can establish roles in his bullpen and say, hey, you're my guy. You're my 8th inning guy. You're my 7th inning guy. I'm going to mix and match you guys in the 7th inning. It has to get to a point here where he has somebody that he can truly go to and rely on and trust out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And sure, of course you'd want to Craig Kimbrell, but to your point, I don't know if you can give up, your top prospects in order to bring back a guy that probably will help your bullpen, but it's certainly not going to guarantee any kind of World Series victory. The Phillies have other issues that they need to deal with as well. If you thought he was the one missing piece to a championship team, absolutely. But I don't know that the Phillies are in that position right now. What I think they're going to have to do is add a couple of pieces in that bullpen to shore it up. It's similar to what they tried to do last year. Now, in hindsight, last year it was a disaster. It didn't work. We know that. However, what they tried to do last year, and when they did it, on the surface, I thought, all right, bringing in some experienced guys that have done the job before, this is going to be good. Now, it didn't work out, but I think that's the kind of thing that we should expect to see this year if they decide to be buyers as opposed to being sellers. And I will say this, so we had Dave Dombrowski on the Phillies radio pregame show earlier this week. I think it was on Tuesday, and Scott Fransky was talking to him, and he asked him, about being buyers and sellers. And what Dave said was, I thought very interesting. He said, it will not come down to whether or not we're 5 games out or 6 games out or 3 games out that will make us buyers or sellers. What will make their decision for them will be how the team is playing in the few weeks leading up to the trade deadline. If the team is playing well, if they seem to be clicking, if they seem to be moving in the right direction, he said that they would tend to want to add to this club at that point. Now, if the team goes in the other direction and starts playing poorly as we head into the trade deadline, then you might see them stand pat or start getting, making some moves with some of their veteran guys and trying to, refill that the farm system. So the next couple of weeks are going to be really big for this team to figure out whether or not they're going to be buyers or sellers. And if they are buyers, the bullpen is where they're going to start, I would imagine.
Just real quick before we go to break, Murph, any update on Sam Coonrod?
Yeah, so Sam actually was throwing yesterday before the game in Boston. We were watching him on our monitors. Looked pretty good. He's working his way back. Obviously not available today. So I would imagine that Coonrod is going to be ready to go when the team comes back this weekend after the All-Star break. Now, I don't know that for sure, but I would imagine that right around there, if it's not Friday, then soon thereafter, you're going to see Sam Coonrod back in that bullpen. And you know what? All those arms help. Coonrod was laboring a little bit, and I think part of that was due to the injury, before they put him on the IL. So hopefully he's healthy when he gets back. He's able to do what he was doing earlier in the season, which was very effective out of the bullpen.
Yeah, the Phillies are definitely going to need that insurance coming out of the bullpen. Speaking of insurance, you deserve to get good service and great rates at State Farm. We get it, and we're here to help because with every State Farm policy, you get good neighbor service, and you get surprisingly great rates. So what are you waiting for? Get going and talk to local State Farm agent Dave Bavuso about your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you want the real deal, call Dave Bavuso State Farm Agency 856-740-5012. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Coming up in their second segment, our predictions from the inaugural episode of Bud Light Baseball Brunch. What did Murph and I say at the beginning of the season? How's it looking right now? You'll find out right after these messages right here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler.
My finances, my grandkids.
If you're 65 or
We're good
older,
there.
you have enough things to worry about.
Whoops! I was a little rusty out the chute there. I was like, "Oh shoot! I didn't put down the fist pot like the Fox National."
Hey Murph.
Yeah.
I can't hear
you. Oh, because you're not on. You hear me
You
now?
got the reads over there, or do you need me to go?
Actually,
I don't. I'll do all the reads today.
Do you mind? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I did just get word from the Phillies who's starting today. I am not allowed at this moment to announce that. And since we're on StreamYard, I'm not going to tell you just because the Phillies don't want it out there yet. But hopefully before the end of the show, we can.
Yeah. If you could do that, because you know how we preview the week ahead.
Yeah.
We're not going to have much to talk about because we have the All-Star game, but then we have the 4-game set with the Marlins. So if you can get that in, want to kick it over to you at the end of the show, let us know who the starter is. We're good to go.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully they have things they have to do before they can announce it. So.
All right, 90 seconds till we come back. Everything is good. I'm just killing. So, like, if you can, Zach, just don't talk when he talks.
Yeah.
We're golden on this side because I'm killing his mic. But everything is fine, though. If you want to talk over him, don't worry. It's all good. Just I want you to be natural.
For this week?
I think it's the stream. It's the stream.
Okay.
That's what the issue. It's got to be. It's got to be.
What's the StreamYard?
Yeah, it's got to be. But it's not a big deal, Murph. We're 20 minutes in, and you would never know. I was just aggressive on the buttons.
I can't talk over you, Murph. That's it. So, our normal banter back and forth, I have to rein it in.
Okay. You can just, pull my mic out and let Zach talk. It's fine. Man, it's hot in this booth. God.
You're wearing a jacket.
Well, because the radio booth is freezing. It is. It's like a meat locker over there. So I put this on because I was working over there, but then I came over to the TV booth to do our show, and it's smoking hot in here.
All right, 10 seconds, boys. Here we come back.
Yep. And welcome back to Bud Light Baseball Brunch here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. And we are sponsored by the Next Sip, a small plastic drink pouch that frees your hands while you keep your beverage in the ready position. NECK Next Sip, time to free up those hands and wear your drink, everyone. It holds any beverage, even bottles, cans, and snacks. Text with both hands and drink at the same time. Visit nextsip.com and follow them at NextSip on Twitter. Customize it anyway. Perfect for sports events. Philly born and U.S. made. Only $5 each. 15% off when you use the code Green Legion. Again, visit nextsip.com and follow them at NECKSIP. NECKSIP. We are back here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler for our second segment. We're going to have some laughs at both Murph and my expenses as compared to our inaugural episode of Bud Light Baseball Brunch back in March, leading into the season. But real quick, the ticket trivia question was for the Bamboo Brad Miller hit 3 home runs the other day against the Chicago Cubs. And who was the last player to do that, to hit 3 home runs in a game in a Phillies uniform? It was Jason Worth in 2008. And congratulations to Mike Scott for winning the 2 tickets for the July 26th game against the Washington Nationals, which is Dollar Dog Night. You can't get any better than that. So, Mike, I hope you enjoy those tickets, and thank you for tuning into the show. So now let's talk a little bit here, Murph, about our preseason predictions so far, how they're looking, and do we care to make any adjustments? Because I think we both could afford to make a couple adjustments, or are we just going to, stay with status quo and be hard-headed men just like we should be? But Murph, do you have anything that you'd like to take back here real fast? Before I go ahead and I expose you and myself.
Everything I said in March, I would like to take back at this point. Now, I don't remember, to be quite honest with you, I don't really remember all my picks. Here's one pick that I do remember, or one thing I said on that inaugural show. I said the Red Sox were going to stink. Here they sit with 55 wins and 35 losses and the second best record in baseball. So take that for what it's worth. And I think perhaps that was my best prediction of the week. I don't know.
Yep. There was actually some good stuff here, Murph, because I was only going in to get the predictions last night, but I came across a couple one-liners that you had. Come back to haunt us in July, Murph, on our first show. That's what you said.
Oh, well, there you go.
Coming back to haunt both of us in July. And, I did write down you saying that the Red Sox were going to stink when I brought them up as my American League dark horse. So let's have a little bit of fun here, Murph, and have a little bit of back and forth here. What do you think that you predicted for the NL East? What team did you say was going to win the NL East?
I think I said that the Atlanta Braves were going to win the East, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
I had the Atlanta Braves as well. As of right now, I don't think that we're both going to be sticking with that pick. If we're being honest with ourselves through the rest of the season, they've struggled with injuries to their starting rotation. Now they've lost Ronald Acuna Jr. for the rest of the season. That is tough production to replace in a lineup that was already struggling. And plus they lost Marcell Ozuna, right. For other circumstances earlier in the season, Murph. I look at the Braves and I don't quite see the juggernaut that we both saw up 3-1 in last year's NLCS to the Dodgers, and I don't see that beast coming back out. I think now we're in a 3-team race in this division.
Yeah, I won't count them completely out, but I agree with you. I think they've got an uphill battle at this point, does Atlanta. I don't think it's a if you're going to count Atlanta out, I would call this a 2-team race at this point between the Mets and the Phillies, because I don't think the Nationals are going to be able to kind of get things back together. I mean, Kyle Schwarber's injury is legit, and he was really carrying that team during that streak where they kind of moved up the standings, got themselves into second place. He was a one-man band, and now that he's gone, I think you've seen they've really kind of deflated with Kyle Schwarber gone. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games are the Washington Nationals. I don't necessarily think that they get it back together. So if you're counting the Braves out, and I won't completely count them out because they've got a lot of talent on that team, but losing Acuna Jr. at the top of that lineup is huge for them. So, I think the Mets are the favorites to win this division at this point. I mean, I'm not saying anything that most people don't already know, but I do think the Phillies have a golden opportunity. And it starts as soon as the All-Star break is over with the Mets coming here for 4 games here at Citizens Bank Park. They can really, close that gap and make things interesting right out of the gate, out of the All-Star break. So, injuries are a big part of this game. You don't know what's going to happen, but I think our prediction of the Braves will most likely be wrong at this point.
All right, now you're saying that the Mets are coming, because I know we start with the Marlins next week.
Right, I'm sorry, the Marlins first. You're right.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I was like, the Mets after that, because I normally only look a week ahead for our show. So I'm like, we got a doubleheader on Friday against the Fish.
No,
and then
you're
we
right.
get the Marlins on Saturday, Sunday. So, all right, cool. So we're both looking at this. The Nationals, I'm still kind of lingering around with them in that spot. Kyle Schwarber will be back. I don't know how significant that injury is going to wind up being, but they're still hovering around, and they don't have Strasburg either. Yeah. So you'd like to think at some point, with Max Scherzer, but they have decisions to make too coming up in the next few weeks, Murph, because Max Scherzer's on the last year of his deal. And if you can get something for him, you can trade him to a contender. That right there is going to tell you everything over the next few weeks. Who's going to be dumping who over the next couple of weeks with the Phillies and the Nationals? It's going to be, the Phillies might be sellers, the Nationals might be sellers, but right now I think everybody's in buy mode in this division outside of the Marlins. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think it will be interesting. I don't think the Nationals will sell. I do not think that they'll trade Max Scherzer. I would be surprised if they did, but you know what? Stranger things have happened. Mike Rizzo, their general manager, they won a World Series, a few years back. So they kind of are playing with a little bit of house money at this point. So if he decides that's the best way to keep their chances of winning divisions going forward, maybe they do. But I think they're too close to the top at this point, unless they completely, go downhill in the next couple of weeks. I think Scherzer probably finishes out the year in Washington, and who knows, maybe even resigns there when it's all said and done. But it will be interesting to see. That's what's so great about the time right around the trade deadline is teams. There's some tough decisions that have to be made, and you really have to look in the mirror and be so honest with yourself if you're a general manager and a team president and guys in the front office, because if you aren't, that's the way you set your franchise back. So it'll be interesting to see. Hey, before we go any further, I do want to mention that the Philly starter today is out. Brandon Kinsler is going to get the start. So obviously it's going to be a bullpen game for the Phillies. I would imagine Kinsler goes for, an inning or two, and then they try to piece it together. So obviously an uphill challenge for the Phillies today, having to use the bullpen, but that's who will start today's game, Brandon Kinsler.
Okay. All right. Well, that was anticlimactic. So, I'm not excited about choices, so. Good thing I'm mowing the lawn this afternoon. All right. So let's go to the NL Central here. Take a guess of who you selected to win the NL Central this season.
All right. NL Central, I think I took the Brewers, right?
Well, you took them as your National League dark horse. So
okay.
Dark horse wise, you're looking really good there. Yeah. Yes, you're looking good, but we both took the Cardinals.
The Cardinals. Okay. Well, you know what? And here, I got the standings in front of me right now. They're 8.5 games back, 44-46. The Brewers, have really done themselves well over the last, 10 days, or 2 weeks. This division was much, much closer than that until the Brewers took off and won 11 straight or whatever they did. So, the Cardinals have some work to do, obviously. And I think the Brewers are easily the favorites to win this division at this point, but stranger things have happened. So not a terrible pick. I don't feel completely embarrassed by that. And the fact that I have the Brewers as my dark horse, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. I got to give you credit there. Not a problem at all.
All right.
I look at the Cardinals though. I think they're toast. I mean, the only team right now that's probably going to be able to keep up with the Brewers in that division, because the Cubs are going to be on sell mode, is the Reds, and the Reds have taken the first 2 games of this set this weekend against the Brewers. They have an opportunity to get within 4 games, but Brandon Woodruff is on the mound today for the Brewers. I don't think that's going to happen. At least I'm gambling on it.
Okay.
I do have the Brewers on my ticket for today. Not our ticket, though, Murph. Not our ticket. So just putting that out there for you. But the National League West, I think we both went chalk there. We had the Dodgers, down as our National League Division champions, and we both had the Padres making the playoffs as a wild card. So we're looking good there. It's just that the surprise of like everything and all of Major League Baseball this year, who's probably going to wind up being the National League Manager of the Year, and I hate it so much, but I have to give the man credit. The team has played well. I'm still waiting for him to fade, because that's a typical Gabe Kapler team, is they fade in the second half of a season. Even in a 60-game season last year, they faded in the last 30 games. So, but Murph, I do know that you have a good rapport with Gabe Kapler, and hey, credit where credit's due, man. They are hanging in there. They are in first place as of right now, but here come the Dodgers after scoring 22 runs on Saturday night. They're going to get hot here coming up as they get healthier. I think Mookie Betts has underperformed. I think a lot of guys in that lineup have underperformed. Bellinger has underperformed. But this Dodgers team is primed for a run. Can the Giants hold them off is the big question.
Well, it's a great question. And both teams over the last 10 games are 6-4. The Giants have won 3 straight, though. As the Dodgers came and started to breathe down their neck, the Giants turned it back on again, and they won 3 straight. They're doing more than just hanging on. They're playing. They have the best record in baseball right now. They have the most wins in baseball: 56 wins, 32 losses. You know what? I know you don't believe. I think the Dodgers win this division. I do. I think the Dodgers win the division because I just think ultimately they're more talented than the Giants. But I'm not so sure about the Padres and the Giants and which team is going to make the wild card. I love the Padres' young talent, but you know what? Until the Giants really fall on their faces, which they have not done yet so far this season, I don't think you can count them out. So it's going to be a fun division to watch as it goes down through the summer.
I mean, as things are turning out right now, Murph, it looks like the Giants and the Padres and the Dodgers, all 3 of them are going to make the playoffs, because you look at the other divisions, like it doesn't look like anybody in the NL East is going to make it out of there as a wild card. At least somebody's got to get hot here in the NL Central or the NL East to make a wild card race, because the wild card race right now is like non-existent. The Dodgers and the Padres are smoking everybody. And the other 2 teams in their division aren't even worth talking about, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. So it's like, the wild card race is always fun, but we have to get to that point. And I know you chose as your other wild card team, you chose the Phillies. My other wild card team that I chose was the Nationals. So, we'll see. I mean, the Reds are right there, as of right now. But one of the great things about baseball is the wild card race. There's nothing going on right now in the National League in terms of that.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, the Reds are 6 games behind the Padres for that wild card spot, that second wild card spot. That's a lot of games in a wild card race. Look, we still got a lot of games to play. Certainly anything can happen. But you're right. At the moment, it doesn't look like we're going to have a nail biter in terms of what the wild card situation is going to look like.
All right, now we got some quick hits here because we got about 3 or 4 minutes left here on this segment here. I chose the Phillies as my National League dark horse, which right now, not sure what's going to happen with that. You had the Brewers. In the American League, we both took the Yankees. I think we're both going to take that back for the American League East.
Yeah, I'd like to if I can. If I'm not mistaken, did I have Tampa as my dark horse?
Yes, you did.
All right, so
we're both looking good on that end. Yeah, our dark horses are competing for the division title, so we're looking good there. In the AL Central, the White Sox, we're correct on that assessment. I have the A's in the American League West. You had the Angels. That's not looking good for you. We both counted out the Astros, and the Astros have risen really above any expectations that we thought we were expecting out of either of them. Again, our dark horses, the Red Sox for me, the Rays for you, so we look really stellar there, Murph. You had the Blue Jays and the Twins for your wild cards. The Blue Jays are kind of hanging around, but the Twins one of the worst teams in baseball.
Yep.
And
not so good.
Actually, did you have the Blue Jays and Twins? I know I had the Blue Jays and Twins. Maybe I'll have to go back and listen to that, but I had the Blue Jays and Twins as well. But then if we're looking at our World Series, I have Dodgers over Yankees. You have Yankees over Padres. I think we might want to change up our American League side of things. So if you have to go back now, we get back and we can get in that DeLorean from Back to the Future, Murph. You know, that's my favorite trilogy of all time. You can get back in that DeLorean right now. You could stop yourself from picking the Yankees to be in that World Series championship matchup against the Padres and beating the Padres nonetheless. I had the Dodgers beating the Yankees. Who would you take in the American League side of things? Who do you have the most confidence? Who do you believe in the most right now to get to the World Series and play the Padres?
I think I'd have to go with the Astros. Honestly, I think I'd take Houston. I counted them out for so many different reasons. You know, maybe put a little too much credence into the idea that they were artificially created by means that they don't have anymore in terms of the cheating scandal. Look, they're 54-36 right now. They've lost 3 in a row, but that's fine. I think they have enough right now. They're playing good enough baseball. I can't pick Boston because that would be completely unfair because I really believe they were going to be terrible this year, and I was completely wrong on that. So if I get to pick one team, I'll switch it up. I'll take Houston.
I'm going to go with the White Sox.
Okay.
I just think that the White Sox, man, they're going to make a move here coming up. They're in an easy division. They're going to set themselves up nicely for home field advantage in the American League. That's kind of where I'm looking at. They're going to get Jimenez back here coming up towards the end of the month. It's really going to bolster that lineup. Jose Abreu is batting around 240, but he's going to get going eventually, and they're going to get Grandal back. That White Sox team, man, I'm going to take White Sox Dodgers as of right now in the World Series. Dodgers still winning the World Series because I hope they do because I don't like Tony La Russa at all. But one of the things that I want to look at too are American League MVPs.
Yeah,
I took Mike Trout. I went chalk. You went Anthony Rendon. Not looking good. But we completely ignored the actual true MVP of the American League, Shohei Ohtani. I think shame is in order for both of us here, Murph.
Yeah. You know, I vaguely remember, and I don't know for sure, but I remember thinking to myself that Shohei Ohtani was going to be pretty special this year. Now, obviously, I did not pick him, so I can't give myself any credit, but I can't say I'm shocked that he's played as well as he has. Maybe not to the level that he has played, but I thought he was going to be pretty darn good. He's a special kind of player, and I think we knew that. But it's funny that we both took players that are teammates of his, and it's in Shohei Ohtani that's the one that's going to, I don't know if he'll win the MVP because, Vlad Guerrero Jr. could make an argument at this point too. But if you're asking me, Shohei Ohtani at this point.
Yeah, I agree because he's doing it on both ends. He's fantastic doing it. And then National League MVP, you took Betts. You took Darvish as the National League Cy Young, and then the American League Cy Young was Garrett Cole. I mean, pitching-wise, you're looking good. Betts isn't performing that well. I had Juan Soto. If the Nationals get hot, it's going to be due to him, but we'll see about that. Jacob deGrom, I went chalk there. And then I had Lucas Giolito with the Chicago White Sox. He's had a down season. So you can laugh at me on that as well. So before we head to break, though, we have to get in here another one of our sponsors, and we got to hop in the car over there at Cherry Hill Triplex, the premier New Jersey Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Kia, Mitsubishi, and Ram dealer serving South Jersey and all of the Delaware Valley. They have a huge selection of new and used vehicles from which to choose. Cherry Hill Triplex, online and offline customers enjoy vehicle specials every day. We offer Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Kia, Mitsubishi, and Ram service and parts and online inventory and an outstanding financing options, making Cherry Hill Triplex the preferred dealer serving the entire Delaware Valley. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Kia, Mitsubishi, and Ram buyers, get ready and set up a test drive. Visit us in Cherry Hill, New Jersey today. Coming up on the other side, make sure you guys get your picks in with us this week as we come back with you on Bud Light Baseball Brunch here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler.
Clear. Nice.
Oh my God, it's hot in here.
Take that jacket off, man.
No.
You were talking about the DeLorean, and I had on the corner of my screen Richard Branson, who successfully just cruised to space and back and landed. That was pretty cool. Yeah. They went up, they were floating around, and next thing you know, they came back down.
All right, now one more live read. Bucks get
Stephen Colbert on the call. I did not have a chance to hear that, but that's interesting. Like if that thing was going to blow up and Stephen Colbert was on the call, You know, it's a hell of a different vibe that I would think than what the Challenger was having back in those days. Let's put it that way.
Sean, if you want to play losing sounders for both me and Murph, when I announced that Murph went 0-3
Done
again,
and then I went 1-2. So I'm just setting you up. You have full autonomy to rip us with that.
Done.
My picks have been brutal. I love my picks. I liked them last week too, but I love them this week. What's that?
You like them every week.
I know. Well, isn't that the whole idea, I guess? Hey, if I do this, do you lose my camera?
No. What
Okay.
are you clicking around?
No, I just pulled up my picks on my computer, but I didn't know if that would block StreamYard.
No, I've been jumping back and forth between
Okay, good.
Like our run sheet and all that stuff. So
all right, I'm gonna pull these up then and just leave them up. So you already spoke about my one of my how about that's.
Which one was that?
Oh wait, that's interesting. I'm sorry. You talked about the Phil's remaining schedule. I have that as one of my how about that's, but it's fine. I have some numbers.
You got a backup?
No, but I want to put it out there because like I said, I have some numbers to back it up. It's pretty interesting. I think both of my how about that's are Philly related today.
Am I coming right out of the break with that intro, or are you calling for it?
No, I call for it. We do our 6 picks,
yep.
and then I'll call for Can You Believe It, and then you'll hit it.
Cool.
And then we'll do our 2 Can You Believe It's for the last couple weeks because we got 2 weeks worth of crap that we can do.
Cool.
And then we'll do our week preview coming up, and then we wrap it up.
Is our week preview like what we're gonna do in the All-Star break? It's like I'm gonna probably cut my grass and maybe sit by the pool for a couple hours. That's about
I'm
it.
going back to work tomorrow.
See, for me, it's the opposite. I have the week off. Nice.
Yeah, I just went back. Yesterday was the first day I was back since before the 4th.
Nice.
Honestly, yesterday was the first day I wore shoes in probably close to 2 weeks, and I put my shoes on, and they were tight. I'm like, what is going on right now?
That's funny.
We were at Wildwood for a couple of days. We went to Strathmere for a day. Oh man, we were all over the damn Jersey Shore. It was fun.
You're a beach guy. I'm not a beach guy.
I'm not a huge beach guy, but I do like the Jersey Shore. I'm actually headed down the shore tonight for see some friends in Wildwood tonight. And then I can hang on the beach for a couple hours if I have everything I need, Yep. Like if I have food, drink,
cover
from the sun. Yeah. As long as I have all that, I'm good.
I just don't understand how people can go to the beach and sit there all day. Don't even go in the water. They just crisp and read a book. Like what?
I know. I love that part. I can't. I burn in about 5 minutes, so I need to be under shelter. But I could sit all day and read a book. I could do that.
All right, 10 seconds.
I have done that.
10 seconds, Murph.
All right.
Here we go.
All right, welcome back for our last segment here on this beautiful Sunday in the Delaware Valley. 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler Bud Light Baseball Brunch is brought to you by Bucks County Baseball Company, the premier vintage sports clothing and collectibles retail store in the tri-state area. Visit www.buckscountybaseballco.com or stop by their Bristol, PA location. Items from Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and much, much more. Again, visit www.buckscountybaseballco.com or stop by their Bristol, PA location. The showroom is huge and the website is even bigger. Bucks County Baseball Company, the name in Philly for vintage sports. Murph, did I do you proud with my read today?
You certainly did. You certainly did. Nice job.
All right, Murph, let's get to our weekly picks here on this Sunday ticket here on July 11th. FanDuel picks for the week, 3 betting lines on Sunday's MLB ticket that we like. I got to update our standings, Murph, because a couple weeks ago we did not do so well. Last week was an off week, and don't you dare try to tell me you went 3-0 because I know you didn't. Murph went 0-3 2 weeks ago. Go ahead, Brace, please. And Sack went 1-2 to cool off his hot streak.
Yeah.
I thought Brace was setting me up for one. Okay, all right, there we go. I thought I was going to get clowned as well. Murph now moves to 17, 20, and 1 on the season, while I am 21 and 17. I'm still making you money. Murph, unfortunately, is losing you money. Money line, run line, over under run totals. Murph, what's your first pick this week on your ticket?
All right, now this may come as a surprise to you, Zach, but I love my picks this week. I do. I think I'm on. And if I hit on all three of these, for the record, much like the Phillies, if I hit on this Sunday, I'm going to be 500 at the break, and I'll take that. I will take that. So here we go. Brewers over Reds. That's my first pick. Milwaukee's favored at -157. You got Castillo and Brendan Woodruff, who you mentioned earlier in the program. I think it's a low-scoring game. I like Milwaukee to kind of finish strong. So I'm taking the Brewers over the Reds, even though the Reds have played some good baseball, but I like them in this one. So take Milwaukee.
Okay, you're going to take Milwaukee to avoid the sweep. That's a solid selection. And Murph, at the end of the season, I might go back and make a montage of every time you say, I really like my picks this week. I really like my picks. I think we're going to have to implement that in our season wrap-up show. But
I love
I'm going to take the White Sox to sweep the Baltimore Orioles today, -186. They've completely manhandled this Orioles team the first couple days. I have them on my personal ticket for today, so I think that you guys should add it as well. Again, as Murph likes to say, parlay it. It's not going to make you much if you just play it straight up single. So go ahead and add it to a ticket with something else that you really like. If it's Murph's pick or another one of mine, -186 the White Sox today in Baltimore over the Orioles.
All right. I like it. How about an over-under from me? Cardinals and Cubs at Wrigley today. Adam Wainwright, Trevor Williams getting the baseballs for their particular teams. The over-under is 7 in this one, which probably is telling you to take the under because it seems like a low line at that point. So, but me, and the way I do things, I don't listen to my gut. I'm going to take the over because it seems like an easy pick. I think the Cardinals, hopefully they swing the bats today. I think they score the majority of those runs, Cardinals and Cubs. So I'm going to go over 7 at Wrigley Field, a warm day out there in Wrigley. Hopefully the balls are flying.
Okay, I actually looked at that pick too. And I was going to go over. I was going to take under because the way that they've been swinging the bats the first couple of games,
I know.
And really, the ball's been jumping out of that ballpark all weekend long. But Murph, it's your gut. It's not mine. I'm going to take the Blue Jays against the Rays today. I know I normally like to take favorites. And this right here, the Blue Jays, surprisingly, Murph, are a favorite today in Tampa against the Rays. -124 with Robbie Ray on the hill. I'm surprised by this.
I was too.
The Rays have won 6 in a row. You would think that the Rays would be a slight favorite today, but no, the Blue Jays are -124. So I'm taking the Blue Jays today to beat the Rays in Tampa to avoid the sweep and go in with some positive energy for the All-Star break.
All right. I like it. All right. Final pick for me. I'm going over to the American League, and I am taking the A's over Texas, the A's over Rangers. The A's are -135. Chris Bassett is on the hill for the A's. He's 9-2 this season, an ERA at just about 3.5. And Texas is terrible. And they won the first game of this series. They lost yesterday, did the Rangers. So I think the A's win back-to-back. I love them to win it. Take the A's all day, all night. Oakland is the pick.
Yeah, especially the way the Rangers blew that game yesterday. They didn't necessarily blow it, but in extras, that's a heartbreaker, man, and extra innings to lose that game. So I like that pick. I actually have that on my personal ticket for today, Murph. So that's a good one right there.
I got 2 of your personal picks. All right.
Hopefully you don't go 0 for 3 and cost me my money because you chose that selection. So I'm going to go Rockies Padres over 8.5 today. I think we're going to get some offense out in San Diego. The bats are going to be swinging. I know the Padres were shut out yesterday against the Rockies. So there will be runs. They will be at a premium. Add that to your ticket. Rockies Padres over 8.5. So our selections, I know my boy Chad, who runs our Twitter handle, he'll be getting those picks up for you guys before ahead of 1 o'clock. So that way you guys can get those picks in. But nonetheless, here we are. Can you believe it? Love it, love it, love it, love it. So our two things that we found interesting, not only from just the last week, we have 2 weeks worth that we can dive into here, Murph. I've got like 3 that I really like. So I might give all 3 of mine, but why don't you start us off, Murph? Give me your first one.
All right. So you mentioned this early in the program, but I have some numbers to support it. Both of my Can You Believe It's are Philadelphia Phillies related today. So as we go into the break, gonna prop up Phillies fans and hope some good feelings as we head into the All-Star break. You mentioned this. After having the toughest schedule so far, the Phillies now have the easiest schedule in the second half. The winning percentage for opponents in the second half versus the Phillies is just 47% winning percentage for the Phils, and it includes many more home games where obviously they have played much better than they have on the road. They are 41 games at home, 33 on the road in the second half of the season. So, if the trends continue and they play a little bit better on the road, that could be some really good things for the Phillies in the second half of the season. So that's my first one. Can you believe it?
All right. I'm going to go with my first one here. And this one sticks in my crawl because this player for the Washington Nationals, shortstop Trey Turner, has hit 3 cycles in his Major League Baseball career. He's 28 years old. Yeah. He has 3 by himself, tying a Major League Baseball record. Okay. The Phillies haven't had one since David Bell. 2004. It's 17 years, and this kid has been up here since 2014, 2015. I think he's been in the show, and he has 3 tying a Major League Baseball record. He's going to break that record by the time his career is over because that kid can flat out hit, and he has speed to go along with it. So, Trey Turner, big ups to you, my man. Murph, give me your second one.
All right, that's a good one. I like it. All right, again, Phillies related. How about this? This a little bit surprising if you ask me. The list of Phillies with 20 doubles, 20 home runs, and 55 RBIs by the All-Star break looks like this. Now, Rhys Hoskins has done it this year, in 2021. So 20 doubles, 20 home runs, 55 RBIs at the break. Only other players to do it, Hoskins did it again. He's done it twice now in his career at 2019. Ryan Howard, Pat Burrell, Chase Utley, Jim Thome, Greg Luzinski twice, and Chuck Klein 4 times.
Wow.
That's a pretty impressive list that Rhys Hoskins finds himself on. You think about that. Some of the best players in Phillies history right there. Rhys Hoskins has done it 2 times already in his career. 20 doubles, 20 home runs, 55 RBIs at the All-Star break. How about that?
I just know the Philly statistician is really feeding you these stats here today, Murph. I appreciate the legwork that he's doing for you.
You know what? They do yeoman's work here. That's right.
I'm going to take this one here from Thursday. Daniel Camarena, okay, relief pitcher for the San Diego Padres, gets called up that day. Comes in to pitch in relief for Hugh Darvish. We had Hugh Darvish versus Max Scherzer. We expect a pitching duel. This kid comes in and hits a grand slam off of Max Scherzer. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable stuff.
And did you see the reaction of his dad
Good
in
for
the
the
stands?
kid, though.
I'm sorry. Did you see the reaction of his dad from the stands?
Wasn't he filming it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was such a great reaction. Just an awesome dad moment for watching his son do that. So very, very cool happenings in Major League Baseball.
I absolutely agree. So here we are. We're wrapping up. We're going into our preview for the week. Today's finale against the Boston Red Sox. A much-needed 4-day break for the Phillies. Everybody's going to get 4 days off except for JT Realmuto and Zach Wheeler. JT's going to start the All-Star game on Tuesday night now, and we'll see what if Wheeler can get himself into that game. Mm-hmm. Return on Friday, doubleheader against the Marlins, and then games on Saturday and Sunday. Reminder, make sure you guys get your tickets at greenlegion.com. Join us at 1100 Social next Sunday, 9 to 1, $60. All you can eat, all you can drink, and then hang out with us and listen to our show live from 11 to noon. Murph, what are you looking at here coming up second half for these fighting Phils?
Well, they got to play better baseball. I mean, it's really pretty obvious. The offense needs to continue to click the way it has over the last couple of weeks. They need to continue to play better on the road. We talked about it. If they win today, 5-2 on this latest road trip, you will sign up for that every day of the week. You're winning a series if you win today against one of the best teams in baseball for the first half of the season. this team has not played up to their potential. They haven't. They haven't pitched up to their potential. They haven't hit to their potential, and their bullpen has been below average as well. If you improve a little bit, just a little bit in each of those areas, this division is wide open. The schedule does get easier. I think Phillies fans are going to have a lot to be excited about over the next couple of months. I really, really do. I think we're going to have meaningful baseball in September, and who knows? I mean, this division's up for grabs, and it could very well be the Phillies that end up taking it.
Sounds great. And I'd like to thank Sean Brace for filling in today as our producer. Greg Murphy over there at Citizen Bank Park. Knock it out of the ballpark today, Murph. You did a fantastic job yesterday on play-by-play. You're going to get him again today, and you're going to get him again on Friday before he goes back to his other duties. But thank you all for listening to us as well. And like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard, we are out of here, baby. Thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Bud Light Baseball Brunch as we take you out here on this beautiful Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.
Nice. Oh, clear. You the man,
all right.
Thanks, Murph.
Guys. Thanks for making this happen. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Man.
Have a great broadcast.
Thank you.
All right. Be good. Talk to you soon,
brother.
Nice. All right.